Hey guys, John V here from PhoneArena. You're watching our quick video review of the T-Mobile myTouch Q. It's going to be available shortly for $50 2-year contract. This is basically the same device as the Huawei made T-Mobile myTouch, except for the fact that it features a landscape sliding QWERTY keyboard. So as you can probably tell, the T-Mobile myTouch Q from Huawei looks exactly like the Huawei made T-Mobile myTouch, except for the fact that it is bulkier due to the inclusion of the landscape keyboard. We still like its overall design styling, especially from Huawei. It has some nice choice materials, soft touch back cover, gives it a nice clean appearance, decent build quality, and still comfortable to hold in hand despite having a little bit of weight to it. Compared to most things on the market, the display in the T-Mobile myTouch Q isn't as captivating, but nevertheless, it gets the job done. It's a 4-inch WVGA display on here, so that's 480 by 800 pixels. And of course, most details are more than legible, but in the web browser and a zoomed out view, kind of difficult to make it out. The display produces some natural looking colors, though it's a little bit low in contrast and washes out very easily, so it's almost unusable in direct sunlight. Taking a tour around the handset, we have the micro USB port and the volume controls on the left edge, 3.5mm headset jack, dedicated power button on top. The right's home to only the shutter key. The bottom has the microphone right here. Below the display, your usual set of Android capacitive buttons, while up top you have the earpiece and the front-facing VGA camera. Flipping it over to the rear, we have the 5-megapixel autofocus camera with a single LED flash right there. The notches are for the speaker, and removing the back cover grants us access to its 1500 milliamp hour battery, kind of small, the SIM slot, and the spring-loaded micro SD card slot. Just like its sibling, the Huawei made T-Mobile myTouch Q is running a customized Android 2.3 Gingerbread experience, so already out of the box it's outdated, and that's rather unfortunate considering that most things are coming out with at least Ice Cream Sandwich on board. But regardless of that, you still have all the core aspects of Android intact, its rich personalization aspects, thanks to the vast widgets available to it. Notifications tray, you have quick access to some of the connectivity features, and the app panel is arranged in your typical scrollable view. Sure, you could attempt typing out messages using its on-screen keyboard, but seeing that it has a 4-inch display, the layout's a little bit cramped compared to some newer things out there, so it's better to use the physical keyboard, mainly because it's very tactile when you press down buttons. They're well-sized too, evenly spaced, so we definitely like the experience we get out of it. The only thing that we would like to see is basically the alternate key and also shift key, both on the left and right side, just to make it a little bit more convenient as we're speed typing. Thanks to its speedy Hspa Plus connections, load times aren't a problem at all with the T-Mobile myTouch Q, but instead, it's just hindered by some choppy movements here with kinetic scrolling and pinch zoom-in. It's especially made worse when you have flash-heavy content on screen. There's nothing out of the ordinary with the music player on board with T-Mobile myTouch, the same thing as any other Android device out there, so the presentation's there. As far as the audio quality, it's extremely strong with its output, but a louder setting, it tends to come off a little bit on the sharp side. So the myTouch Q is only able to play videos encoded in MPEG-4 out of the box. It couldn't open up any of the ones that we had that were in DivX, XVID, or even H.264. The one here is in 720p resolution, and luckily it does move at a decent rate, but with its display it tends to wash out. It doesn't make for the best experience out there. Unfortunately, the T-Mobile myTouch Q doesn't fare well in taking photos and videos with its 5-megapixel camera, which has the ability to shoot 720p videos. With still shots, it tends to have a lot of muddiness with its details. Colors look a little bit on the bland side, and low lighting conditions, you could pretty much forget about using it. The same thing applies with video quality. It moves decently at 29 frames per second, but it just has some really soft looking details and a lot of artifacting. Our only gripe with the T-Mobile myTouch Q with calling quality is just the poor volume output of its earpiece. We've got to really put it next to our ear to hear anything, but luckily voices on both ends of the line are very clear, distinctive, and noise-free, and when switched over to using the speakerphone, again it produces some strong volume tones to make conversations more than audible. There are no drop connections or any major fluctuations with its signal strength, and as far as the battery life on the T-Mobile myTouch Q, it's sufficient enough to get us by through one solid day out of its 1500 milliamp hour battery, but if you tend to be a power user, just expect to charge it constantly. Thankfully, both the Huawei made T-Mobile myTouch and the myTouch Q are priced identical at $49.99 with a 2-year contract. So the only reason why you probably want to stick with the myTouch Q is if you really need a physical keyboard. If not, go with the more compact T-Mobile myTouch. But in the end, same hardware, same updated core experience. It's unfortunate it has Android 2.3 Gingerbread, but regardless of that, as we said, most people who are looking for something basic are probably going to want to experience the latest and greatest and still have all the core features of Android intact with the device. So if you'd like to learn more about the T-Mobile myTouch Q, guys, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. This is John V. Thanks for watching.